All right, this is recording, so let's get started. Thank you everybody for being with us here today. I have a presentation that I'm going to be sharing with you on video editing. And this first half of the session is going to be focused on, it doesn't matter what device you use, you'll get a kick out of this. However, in the second half of the session, I'm specifically going to be showing LumaFusion, which is only available on iOS, which is iPhone and iPad. So for everybody else who's an Android user, stay with me for the first little bit, and then once I get to the live demonstration, then feel free to leave because it won't work for you anyways. But this first half is definitely going to work for everybody. So what I want to do is I'm going to share with you all the tools that I use for creating and editing video directly on my iPhone. So everything I'm about to share with you works directly within your iPhone. You don't need any computer or anything else. Me personally, because I already have an iPad, I'll use the iPad over the iPhone because it has a larger screen. I'll head on to Epidemic Sound. This is where I get my royalty-free music that I use in the background of my videos. I have to use Dropbox. I use other cloud-based storage programs, but Dropbox just seamlessly works with LumaFusion. And LumaFusion is the app that I use for doing all of my video editing. So if you need an app on your phone or your tablet for editing video, there is no question LumaFusion is the champion on mobile video editing. And story blocks, specifically video blocks by story blocks, that's where I get my B-reel footage for filler. And I'll share that with you a couple examples later on. So first, I'm going to show you a video that I created. So I'm going to hit play on this, and everything you're about to watch was edited on a phone. Video instantly made me more money. But how did I get started? I mean, the whole process intimidated me. From bad lighting to complicated gear, and no scripts or call to action, I was totally winging it. So to get over that, I started recording my computer screen using screen recording software and used that as the content. No editing required. I could do it in single takes. The best example was landing pages of me summarizing why the people were there, what they were going to get for filling in the form, and that I'm a real person who'll be really following up. To my surprise, that simple change instantly increased conversions with the traffic we already had at hand at no extra cost. See, you can drive more traffic to your website, and there's an added cost in that. Or you can take the traffic that you already have and simply increase the conversions, and that's totally free. At that point in 2012, I got the video bug for using it as a business tool, because it single-handedly increased my lead volume. When I call leads back, I can hear the voice of my videos in the background. People are instantly blown away. It's actually me who's calling them back. Because of this power, I started using video in my follow-up drip campaigns to build that know you, like you, trust you factor over time. And not all leads were ready to buy right away, so this helped bridge that long-term nurture gap. The challenge was getting over the belief that my videos had to be Hollywood polished. I mean, lav mics scream unprofessional, right? What am I, shooting with a selfie stick? I look like an idiot. And who am I anyways? So I failed forward, man. I started sending personal one-off videos with no editing, just straight single takes. If I'd messed up, I'd redo it and take as many takes as needed. I didn't care about view count or going viral. These were one-off takes that added authenticity for being in the raw state. I basically considered it like a visual voicemail, and I would text, email, and Facebook message these videos directly. Things like congratulation messages or client feedback, simply touching base to promotions and invitations. You can use video to tell any story. I mean, in today's world, even our family isn't answering the phones. And I find video messages break that barrier and allow people the convenience of watching and replying when they like. So my hope with this video is to inspire others to fail forward. I believe people don't do video because they complicate the gear, don't know how to edit, and ramble forever with no clear beginning, middle, or end. So let's simplify it. This is the gear you need. These are the videos you can make. I suggest starting with Facebook and Instagram stories because they disappear anyways, so it's okay if they're trash. Plus, they're short 15-second clips, so they don't take that long for you to make. I challenge you to get over the fear. People don't regret the things that they did. People regret the things that they didn't do. And I believe you're already the bomb, so it's okay if you blow. Ready, set, go. Perfect. So that video right there shows you how I could stitch together a story, and then hopefully that video was to inspire you to actually start making video on your own. So this is the process of how I created that. First of all, I didn't just turn on the camera and start winging it, because that would have taken you hours and you would have produced nonsense. So what I did was I wrote a story. I opened up a Word document and I created a beginning, middle, and end with a clear outcome of what I wanted people. I wanted people to get inspired to use video. So that was the intention of me making this. So what I do is I go to a Word document and type up my script. Then on that script, I'll highlight in yellow. You see these yellow highlights? That's all of those parts is what I'm going to read into the camera when I'm looking into the camera, but the rest of it is going to be a narration where I'm just recording my voice. After I have that done, the script is done, the highlighted parts are done, then I have to create the story of, okay, in my script, while I'm talking about, for example, from bad lighting to complicated gear, people aren't going to want to sit there and watch me just saying that. So I need some B-reel footage. B-reel footage is usually footage that's recorded with no sound, and it goes along with the words of what you're saying, because video is definitely a visual way of storytelling. And so what I did on my Word document, I did this on my iPad, I just used the pencil, and I wrote out little scenes for each sentence. That way I had a clip that would go along with it. So this is an example of me reading the script with one take. And you're going to notice I start off the opening by looking into the camera. But then the rest of the video, I'm looking down at my iPad just reading it. And the reason for that is because if nothing else, I have a video voiceover that I can use. Watch this. Video instantly made me more money. But how did I get started? I mean, the whole process intimidated me. From bad lighting to complicated gear, and no scripts or call to action. I was totally winging it. So there I am. I'm literally just reading the script off of my iPad onto my phone. Let me turn this up, just in case that helps you guys on your end. And so I would do that twice. The first time I did it, it took me 7 minutes, and that was me reading the script, just looking down at my iPad. Then I did a second clip of me recording all of the yellow parts. And the yellow parts are the ones of me looking into the camera itself, so making eye contact with the viewer. That took me 2 minutes. So 9 minutes total for me to get all the video shots of me talking. Instead of 2 or 3 hours. So I was able to get it done in 9 minutes. And so this is an example of me looking into the camera. And so I hit record, and there's going to be bloopers, and I'll just like roll through the blooper because I'm going to edit them out anyway. So in 2 minutes, I'm able to get all of the shots of me looking into the camera. I didn't care about, I didn't care about view counts or going viral. These were single takes that, beep. I didn't care about view count or going viral. These were one-off takes that added authenticity for being in the raw state. I basically considered it like a visual voicemail, and I would text, email, and Facebook message these videos directly. You can use video to tell any story. Beep. So my hope with this video is to inspire others to fail forward. So in that 2 minute session, there's more video than that. I didn't put it all in here for you, but it was I hit record, and it was literally just 2 minutes of me reading the script off of my iPad, internalizing it, then looking at the camera and saying it out loud. And then I would go down to the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one. So now I have 2 files. One file is of me reading the script from beginning to end with no break. The second file is of me reading all the parts where I want to be looking into the camera, making eye contact. Then, before I do anything else, I want to get all the B-reel shots. So on my Word document, when I'm writing out all of the B-reel footage that I want to get, like for example, me pretending to be typing on a computer, or a phone answering and getting hung up, or whatever, me on a selfie stick. These were all examples that I needed in my video, and so I knew I needed a shot of that. So I wrote out basically my shot list based on the script that I had, and I filled in the blanks. So this is an example of me just filming some of the B-reel footage. And when I film the B-reel footage, I actually am, nobody's going to hear it except for me. So when I'm talking in these videos, I'm actually just talking to myself so that I know what the video is for. Stand here, I'm just, oh, yeah. Beep. Hey, what's up? It's Danny Wood here. I'm just doing a fake little video test using my cool looking selfie stick. Do I have to turn it this way? Oh yeah, I'll do it like that. Okay, beep. Hey, what's up? It's Danny Wood. I'm just doing a fake little test looking at this selfie stick, and what do you think? I think it looks pretty stupid. Hey, what's up? It's Danny Wood here. I am just recording a fake video. It looks like I'm scrolling through, and what I'm doing is I'm not doing anything. I'm just getting some video clips of me talking about my landing page. Hey, what's up? This is a bad lighting shot, so I should probably not have I can leave that there. Leave this. Put this. It's recording. Yeah. So, hey, what's up? I'm doing a video, and this is clearly a bad lighting shot. And I'm just going to do a couple shots like this. I've got my little kitty. This is my little cat. Hey, what's up? This is Danny Wood. I'm just doing a test. Yeah, it's really me. Hey, how are you? No, that's awesome. Cool, cool, cool. Alright, so the other thing I want to talk about is the, So you'll notice when I say the beep, I'm like, beep. The reason why I do that is because it creates a spike in the video file of the audio wave, and that's where I know to cut stuff. So whenever I make a big mistake, I'll just like, beep, yell it out loud, and then that's where I cut, and it makes it easier for when I'm processing the stuff. And so yeah, I would just go around and get like the 10 or 30 little B-reel shots that I know that I need to be able to tell my story. Once I have all of that, so you're going to have the two files of you, one looking into the camera, one reading the script, and then you're going to have all of your B-reel footage. Then I personally am going to head to LumaFusion, because it is the best app for editing video on a mobile device. The challenge is that it only works on an iPad or an iPhone, so I don't know what the equivalent is for an Android. But everything I'm sharing with you right now is going to work for both. It's just me personally, I use LumaFusion. So what I do on LumaFusion or any video app is I'll edit so that it's one consistent story. So I'll edit out all of the ums and ahs and all of the dead air and all of the bleeps. And I'll edit that out. And by editing it out so that I have one timeline, oh, actually, before I tell you that, I want to show you what it looks like when it's edited. So you're going to see I stitched together the two videos, the one of me just reading off of the iPad, and then the one of me looking into the camera. So I put that together, so actually if you were to close your eyes and just listen, you probably wouldn't have noticed. But because you're watching, it's going to look really stupid because I'm looking at an iPad. At hand, at no extra cost. See, you can drive more traffic to your website, and there's an added cost in that. Or you can take the traffic that you already have and simply increase the conversions, and that's totally free. At that point in 2012, I got the video bug for using it as a business tool, because it single-handedly increased my lead volume. When I call leads back, I can hear... So it looks not good because I'm reading off of an iPad. However, if you were to close your eyes and hit play on that video, it actually, it's a story. It sounds like a good little story. So now that I have all of that put together, then I want to correct the image, because have any of you ever bought a camera? For example, you get a GoPro and you're like, man, I'm going to look so cool. I got this GoPro. And then you like go get some shots and you bring it home and you're completely devastated because they look like trash. That's because everybody does color correcting. So I'm going to show you in LumaFusion, you can do color correcting, and this is why. Take a look at the left side is going to be uncorrected, and the right side is going to be corrected. Video instantly made me more money, but how did I get started? I mean, the whole process intimidated me. From bad lighting to complicated gear, and no scripts or call to action, I was totally winging it. So see the shot on the left? Like that's what your GoPro would have looked like out of the box. You just hit record, take the file, put it on your computer or your phone, and that's what you're working with. The shot on the right, you can see it looks a lot more natural, right? And that's because I did color correcting. And I'll show you how to do that in our demonstration when I actually do. I'm going to mirror my iPad so that you guys can watch me do all this. Let me stop these videos. Yeah, so color correcting, really, really important. If your app allows you to do it, I mean, you might as well. So once I have the color correcting done and I have my story in place, now I'm going to want a soundtrack. And because I edited my video, I know my video is around 3 minutes in length. So I'm going to want to find a soundtrack that is around 3 minutes. So I head on over to Epidemic Sound. On Epidemic Sound, there's a little download button at the bottom right. So I'll just go down and I'll play a bunch of the different songs based on the mood of my video, the length of the song, that sort of thing, until I find something that fits. Once I do, on your iPad or on your device, you want to hit the share button and then you want to put it onto Dropbox. The challenge with an iPad and an iPhone, for example, is that you can't just put music on it and use those in your videos unless you buy them through iTunes. It's a real pain in the ass. So what I do is I just put all of my music files on Dropbox and then I can import them that way. Now, speaking of Dropbox, I create 3 folders. One folder is called deleted files, and that's where I put all the files that I'm working with because I know after the project I'm not going to need them again. I have a sound effect file and I have an audio file. So I put all the audio clips and the sound effects in different files because there's a chance I'll use them again in the future. So I have those as well. Now, I'm not a huge fan of Dropbox. They're all pretty much the same. I personally use OneDrive, and I still find that Dropbox works the best for doing this flow. And that's because I don't know what it is, but say I'm on Epidemic Sound and I want to share the file. It's just easier to do it through Dropbox than anything else. So I use Dropbox specifically only for my video editing. I kind of had to. And so yeah, these are the files that I'll create in my Dropbox account. You can create a free Dropbox account and I call one deleted, one sound effects, and one audio. Now that I have the audio added to my soundtrack, one of the reasons why I like LumaFusion so well is see the 2 arrows? I have different layers to my videos. Most video editing programs, it's like you have one video and then a transition and then another clip and a transition and another clip. But with LumaFusion, I can actually stack it and add depth. And I can have multiple layers for the soundtrack as well. So now that I have my sound added to it, I start adding all of the B-reel footage. So basically, in any of the clips where I was looking down, recording me looking at my iPad, I want to cover that up with some B-reel footage. So I'll obviously pick and choose the right B-reel that fits. Now, if I didn't have a B-reel shot that I personally could take that would work, then I use something like video blocks. And on video blocks, I'll go there. And so for this example, in my video, I talked about not all leads were ready to go right away, and it was a long-term nurture program. And so I'm thinking to myself, what video would go with long-term nurture? And then I typed in the word growth, and then growth time-lapse came up. I'm like, oh, that is perfect. That is exactly what I'm looking for. So I downloaded a clip of a plant growing in time-lapse, and I didn't have to do that. I was just able to download the clip and use it. So this is an example of me. Now I'm going to cover up my me reading my iPad with the B-reel footage of either me looking into the camera or the downloading of B-reel footage. So let's take a look. I mean, the whole process intimidated me. From bad lighting to complicated gear, and no scripts or call to action, I was totally winging it. So to get over that, I started recording my computer screen using screen recording software and used that as the content. No editing required. I could do it in single takes. The best example was landing pages of me summarizing why the people were there, what they were going to get for filling in the form, and that I'm a real person who'll be really following up. So that's a pretty good example showing you how, like that whole time I was talking, I was actually just reading off of my iPad. And I used that as a voiceover, but then based on what my voice was saying, I had different clips that went along with it. Then to finish all of this off, I'll add sound effects to basically polish it off. So at the beginning of my video, you'll notice I take a lens cap off of the camera. Well, I added the sound effect of that lens cap noise. It just adds like that punch that people need. So let me show you a couple examples of let me show you a couple examples of video clips of me using sound effects to just enhance what you're looking at. Added cost in that. Things like congratulation messages or client feedback, simply touching base to promotions, and I mean, in today's world, even our family isn't answering the phones. And I find video messages break that barrier. And I suggest starting with Facebook and Instagram stories because they disappear anyways, so it's okay if they're trash. Plus, they're short 15-second clips, so they don't take that long for you to make. And I believe you're already the bomb, so it's okay if you blow. Ready, set, go. So even that clip of me snapping my finger, it sounded way more crisp and punchier by adding the sound clip of a finger snapping than if I was just to record my own snapping actually. So when I filmed that shot, I didn't even make the noise because I knew that I was going to replace it with a sound effect. So by adding sound effects, it just adds so much depth to, people have the attention span of a goldfish, apparently. Don't be angry at me, I didn't make that up, that's what I heard. And so if you ever watch a video, for example, any TV show, you're going to notice as soon as you're watching, count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's like every 4 to 8 seconds, they're changing the camera angle or something because there constantly has to be change. So a lot of real estate agents, they fail at video because it's just like a big talking head of them talking and yammering on for 3 minutes, which is fine if that's what you want to do. However, if you want to start editing video, all of these layers I just showed you is kind of how you build a bigger cake. So this is my checklist. First of all, before I get started with anything, I'm not even going to pull out the camera. I'm going to write my script. Then on that script, I'm going to highlight all of the parts that I want to be looking into the camera. And then I'm going to sketch out all of the B-reel, filling in the rest to cover up when I'm reading my iPad. Then I'm going to film the narration part of me. So the very first opening sentence of the film, I'm actually looking into the camera. And then the rest of it, I'm literally just reading off of my iPad so that I have a voiceover. Then I'm going to film me looking in the camera parts. So that was a 2-minute take. And I just read every yellow highlight of me looking into the camera so that I had those clips. Then I ran around the house getting all the B-reel shots to create the filler that I needed. And then I would import those into my device. I then edit it to be a single track. So I take my voiceover and the clips of me looking in the camera and I blend them together so that it's one video. I'll correct the image so that it just looks better. Then I'll add the music in the background. And I should back up for a second. A lot of YouTube vloggers, they actually start with the music. So you can do it. I'm just sharing with you my checklist. So this is the way that I do it. You can start with the music too, but anyways, this is the way I do it. Then I add B-reel to cover up all of the parts of me looking at the iPad. I'll then polish it off by adding the sound effects, and then we're pretty much done. So I export the video, and then I'll upload it wherever I want to put it. I'll archive the project, and I'll back it up so that I have it closed, and then I'll delete all of the files off of my device. So the problem you're going to find if you're editing is you've already not got a lot of memory on your phone, right? So a lot of people see this warning. And so if you start editing video on your phone or iPad, you're going to run out of space pretty quickly. So I'm going to share with you some of the tools that I use to get around this. The first one is I don't actually edit the videos on my phone, even though I could, because it has the ability to. It's just a bigger screen on my iPad, so I will use an iPad because I have it. Now, if I didn't have the iPad, then guess what? I would be editing it on my phone. So use what you have. Now, you're going to take video using whatever you got, a GoPro, a camera, something like that. You have to get all of these files onto your iPad. So I use what's called a phone USB flash drive. And it works for Android. You have to get one specific for Android, or it works specifically for iPhone. And yeah, it plugs into the bottom of your phone, and then you could put the card, your card reader of your files, and then just import them directly into your iPad. I also use this as called a phone USB flash. The one up at the top, the SanDisk, is the one that I use because it's iPhone. But you can use it for any phone. You just have to buy the one that works for your specific phone. And yeah, they work great. It's literally an external memory card that plugs into the bottom of your phone. So you can dump all the photos, hogging up all the files, and get them off. So I actually put all of my files on the USB drive and work off of that instead of working off of my phone, just because it's easier. And not to add cost, but some of you might see value in this. I certainly do. This is a wireless hard drive. It's a solid slate hard drive, so you could like kick it down the street and it's still going to be good. And I bought the 1 terabyte one, and basically all of my videos and footage and everything I put onto here because LumaFusion actually syncs with this. So I actually don't have to put any of the files on my iPad or phone at all. I can just import them directly into this thing by putting the card in, and then I have access right from my phone and my tablet for when I'm doing my video edits. Now, some people are going to run out and buy everything. Save your money on this one at first because it's not cheap. Only get it if you know that you have a real need for it. So now that I showed you the beginning and like all the behind the scenes and the layering of how I do it all, now rewatch the video and try and point out all the things and be like, oh yeah, I can see he was looking down at his iPad while he was saying this, or the sound effects. So let's watch this in its entirety, and then I'm going to open up my iPad and I'm going to actually edit this live in front of you. Video instantly made me more money, but how did I get started? I mean, the whole process intimidated me. From bad lighting to complicated gear, and no scripts or call to action, I was totally winging it. So to get over that, I started recording my computer screen using screen recording software and used that as the content. No editing required. I could do it in single takes. The best example was landing pages of me summarizing why the people were there, what they were going to get for filling in the form, and that I'm a real person who'll be really following up. To my surprise, that simple change instantly increased conversions with the traffic we already had at hand at no extra cost. See, you can drive more traffic to your website, and there's an added cost in that. Or you can take the traffic that you already have and simply increase the conversions, and that's totally free. At that point in 2012, I got the video bug for using it as a business tool, because it single-handedly increased my lead volume. When I call leads back, I can hear the voice of my videos in the background. People are instantly blown away. It's actually me who's calling them back. Because of this power, I started using video in my follow-up drip campaigns to build that know you, like you, trust you factor over time. And not all leads were ready to buy right away, so this helped bridge that long-term nurture gap. The challenge was getting over the belief that my videos had to be Hollywood polished. I mean, lav mics scream unprofessional, right? What am I, shooting with a selfie stick? I look like an idiot. And who am I anyways? So I failed forward, man. I started sending personal, one-off videos with no editing, just straight single takes. If I'd messed up, I'd redo it and take as many takes as needed. I didn't care about view count or going viral. These were one-off takes that added authenticity for being in the raw state. I basically considered it like a visual voicemail, and I would text, email, and Facebook message these videos directly. Things like congratulation messages or client feedback, simply touching base to promotions and invitations. You can use video to tell any story. I mean, in today's world, even our family isn't answering the phones. And I find video messages break that barrier and allow people the convenience of watching and replying when they like. So my hope with this video is to inspire others to fail forward. I believe people don't do video because they complicate the gear, don't know how to edit, and ramble forever with no clear beginning, middle, or end. So let's simplify it. This is the gear you need. These are the videos you can make. I suggest starting with Facebook and Instagram stories because they disappear anyways, so it's okay if they're trash. Plus, they're short 15-second clips, so they don't take that long for you to make. I challenge you to get over the fear. People don't regret the things that they did. People regret the things that they didn't do. And I believe you're already the bomb, so it's okay if you blow. Ready, set, go. Perfect. Okay, so I really do hope that you guys just got inspired on, man, I actually can do that. And you don't have to do as long of a video. So start doing like Facebook and Instagram Live. They're only 15-second clips. And just challenge yourself maybe once a week or once a month to start doing this. Okay, so I am going to black screen, no image, audio. I don't know if Hank's having an issue. Hopefully you can still see and hear. Okay, so I'm going to screen monitor here, turn on my iPad. All right, yeah, you can see that. Cool. So we are looking at my iPad in real time. So let me go here. So if any of you are on an Android device, then at this time, maybe save yourself and leave. However, if any of you are on an iPad, you're going to love this. And even if you are on an Android, at least I can take you through, because the same process will work on an Android. You just have to find the software that will do it. Because like Nike and Adidas, they're both pretty similar. It's just pick your flavor. Same thing with editing software. So I use this one right here. It's down at the bottom. I'm going to move it around. It's called LumaFusion. Okay, so let's open up LumaFusion. And then I'm going to create a brand new project because you guys won't have any projects. So let me click this little button here. So you're going to have no projects, so you're going to create a new one. At the very bottom left is a plus arrow. So I'm going to add that, and we're going to call this my project test. Okay, for the frame rate, you want to match it up with whatever your camera is. So say your GoPro had a frame rate set to 30 seconds a frame, then you're going to want to change that. So my phone, I had it set at 60, so this is what I set it at. If you don't know the difference, it's always either 60, 30, or 24. And I'd say safe bet would be 30 for most people. I already know all my files were in 60, so that's what I want to do. So now I have a blank document. There's nothing down here on the timeline. And up in the top right is going to be a preview of what you're looking at. So now what I want to do is on the very top left is a little flower. I'm going to click on that flower, and it opens up all my sources of where is all the material that I'm using. So I put all of my files on my phone, or sorry, on my iPad, so it's under Photos. Okay, and then I want to be on my camera roll. So here's my camera roll looking at all my footage. So let me take a look. I'm looking for the 7-minute one. So I want to just drag that down onto the timeline. Right, so here it is. I can pinch and zoom, and I can squash it a bit. There we go. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I want to hit play. Video instantly made me beep. Okay. Video instantly made me more money, but how did I get started? Okay, so there was a bleep at the beginning, so that is right around here. So right at the cap, just before the cap comes off, On the right side of the screen, you're going to see there's scissors. So I'm going to click the scissors on the right, and it trimmed it. Now that there's a clear divide between these two clips, I can grab this clip and just move it up, and it will delete. So what I would do is go through and clip all the parts out. I'm not going to do that right now with you because obviously that would take time and bore the hell out of you. But let's just say here's a clip of me reading my iPad. Okay, in my other one, once I'm done with that, then I want to add the footage of me looking into the camera. So I'm going to drop that down onto the timeline. Scrub through, and this is me saying all my parts. So let me mute this one. I'm going to double click. Turn the volume all the way low, and then I want to hit play so we can hear this. I didn't care about, oh fuck. Beep. I didn't care about view counts or going viral. These were single takes that, beep. I didn't care about view count or going viral. These were, I basically considered it like a visual voice. Okay, so here's a couple clips. I'm going to put my timeline here, and I'm going to, whoops, wrong one. Select the timeline that I want to clip, and I want to cut it. And then from here, remember the beep? There's the beep right there. I can see the long pause, and then I'm talking, and then this dead zone is me reading, and then I'm talking. So I know that little clip right there, that's me saying beep, so I can just put it in the middle, select it, whoops, and then delete that part. So what I want to do is move this so that it matches up the audio down below, so it looks something like that, if that was the case. So this is what I do. I go through and I'll edit out all of it so that it's one timeline. So then I'll be like, okay, so if this goes here, then I have to trim that, and then I want to grab this and move it down to replace, and I'm going to use the new timeline duration. And then I'll have all these little video clips. So once I have all of that done, then what I want to start doing is the color correcting. So let's look at this file. I'm right here looking at myself. If I double click on the clip, it opens up. At the bottom left, look at the very bottom of the screen. There's 4 tabs. The first one says frame and fit. And this allows you to, like, for example, on one of the clips I zoomed in. So what I did was I literally just zoomed it in. So you can adjust things like that. You can adjust the positioning, the rotation, all of that. The next one to the right at the very bottom is called speed and reverse. So I can actually speed up a clip, or I can really slow it down. So depending if you want to do slow motion, you would drop it down like that. And if I want to leave it at a normal speed. The other one is the audio. So this is where I'm like, okay, I actually needed the audio to be louder. So in my case, I already know I wanted it at 9.5. And you don't have to know what these numbers are. Just literally like scale stuff. You're not going to break it. Just find what works. So I'm going to put mine at 9.5. Okay. And then color and effects. So this is where we get into the color correcting. So it opened up these presets. If I click on original, which is on the top right, so I clicked on original, and it opens up all of this stuff so I can change the brightness. So I could be like, oh, I want to lower the brightness down. I want to change the contrast a bit. I want to pump up the saturation. And I literally can go down here and just like move these sliders until it looks good. I don't even know what all this stuff means. I like honestly just will like slide stuff until it looks better. There, look at that. So now if I scroll back to the top and I hit the little eyeball, see what it looked like right out of the camera, and then what it looks like after I correct it. And that's not even a good correction. Like, I'm going to delete that. I was just showing you. They have presets, so I could be like, maybe I want the saturation. Which one? Vibrance. There you go. Vibrance, I just checked on the Vibrance one, and it was already done. That looks pretty decent. I mean, I can obviously adjust things slightly if I wanted, like that. There you go. Okay. Now, up on the top, see how there's an art palette? and then there's a bunch of cubes. I'm going to click on the cubes, and then I'm going to go back to the art palette. What I like to do is head on over to the drop and go down to sharpen, and it'll say sharpen 1x. Now watch when I click on this, watch my face, how sharp it gets. That's too much. But if I lower it to about, say, there, for example, now I'm going to hit the eyeball so that you can see the before and after. So it just kind of like sharpens up the image a little. My t-shirt looks crisper, that sort of thing. Now, let's say that you're happy with this, right? I'm going to hit the back arrow in the top right, sorry, top left. Then I'm going to click on the file on the timeline to highlight it. Down on the bottom is on the right. See how I'm clicking on this little briefcase? It opens up this panel, and I'm going to click on the clip option at the very bottom. So I click on clip, and then I'm going to copy. Now that I have that done, it's copied onto my clipboard. I can literally just click on this file right here, and then I'm going to do clip and paste. And it automatically added that to everything for me. So that's why I like to do all the color correcting at the beginning before I start doing all my real video edits. For example, like look at that. Look at the color corrected, not color corrected. And if I was actually spending more time, I would make it look better than this, but I don't want to bore you. Because I literally, all I do is click, clip, paste. That looks pretty good. And go through. So I'll do all my color correcting. Once I have the timeline done in place, I'm like, okay, next on my checklist is going to be the music. So what that means is I have to leave LumaFusion, and I'm going to open up Safari, and I'm going to go to Epidemic. Epidemic is where I get my soundtracks from. So let's just say, whatever, I don't even know if these are good. So I'll do Better Place. Let's try this. So say I like that. I don't, but let's just say I do like that. I would then click on the download button. I'm like, yeah, this is the one I want to use, so I'm going to download the full mix. And it's going to open up on screen for me. It's going to load the song. Once the song has loaded, there, the song is loaded. So I'm going to hit the share button up at the top right so that it opens up this little dialog box. And then I'm going to hit save to Dropbox. And then I have my 3 folders that I told you to create. You should have a delete folder, create sound effects and audio. So I'm going to want to select it on the audio, and then I would hit save. All right. I'm not actually going to do that because I already have the song. So I'm going to go back to LumaFusion. I'm like, okay, I want to add that soundtrack. So now what I have to do is I have to click on the flower on the top left of my screen. And then I'm going to go to import it. And it has all of your different folders. So Dropbox, OneDrive, Google, whatever you use. I use Dropbox. And then I'm going to go to audio. And then these are all the audio tracks that I already have loaded. But you might not have anything loaded here. So this is, you have to hit this little door with the arrow so that you can import the media, because you have to import the media off of wherever it is. So I'm going to import the media, and I'm going to do Dropbox, and then audio, and then you'll pick whatever song it is. So let's say it's this one called Fender Bender. I'll select Fender Bender, and then on the top right, I'll hit the arrow at the door again, and it will then import this into my list. Once you have it on your list, well, here's Fender Bender. So once you have it on your list, you're going to grab it, drag it, and drop it. And now I have the soundtrack. The problem is that the soundtrack is going to be competing with your voice. So what you want to do is you want to double click on it, and then you want to bring that down to a number that makes sense. So first of all, let's hear it at regular rate. I didn't care about view count or going viral. So that's too loud. Obviously, you can't even hear the words I'm saying. So I'm going to drop that down to there and see what it sounds like. Viral. These were one-off takes that added authenticity. Actually, you can go up a little bit more. Authenticity for being in the raw state. Cool. Okay. So let's say that sound works. So now I got that volume there. Perfect. Good to go. So now if you've got your timeline all in place, let me actually go to and show you the B-reel footage that I had, and we'll go through that. So that would be... Is it this one? No. Oh, here it is. Okay. Okay, so here's my clip all cleaned up. I've got, you see this middle section right here. This is the one take of me reading. Underneath is the audio file. So the next one is the audio track. And then up top is all of my B-reel footage. So let's take a look at the first B-reel shot. We'll do this one here. Okay, so I'm going to hit play. And you're going to see when I swear, the little curse word comes up. So I'm going to hit play. And no scripts or call to action. I was totally winging it. Okay, so how did I do that? How did I add that little emoji to my face? So right at... Oh, you know what I want to do before I mess this up? Hold on. I want to make a copy of this. All right. Cool. Okay, so where was it? Right here. Okay, so right at this point, I want to zoom in on the timeline so that I can see at that mark right there is when I swear. Okay, so I'm going to remove what I added, and then I'm going to hit the plus button on the far right. So I hit plus, and then it has text overlay. So I want to add a text overlay, and then I want to double click on it. And then I want to double click on the text. And then I want to change the text, and I'm just going to use the emoji. It was the swearing one. Okay, done. Then on the bottom left of the screen is this little target. So I'm going to click on that target, and I'm going to move it to cover up my mouth. Okay. Now, if I just leave that, so let me back out and show you. I'm going to back out, and we're going to hit play. When my head turns, the emoji is going to stay where you put it. It's totally winging it. So to get over... But I don't want that. I want the emoji to follow and track me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to double-click this again. Let me go back. Double-click. Okay, so I'm going to click on the target on the bottom left again. And then I'm going to make sure that... See this little blue line that I'm wiggling back and forth? You want that all the way to the left, okay? Then underneath that, you see the little 3 circles with a plus. I want to click that, and it adds what's called a keyframe. Now, beside the play button is a little jump button. I want to click on that, and it moved forward just a little bit, and I can leave it. I want to keep clicking that jump forward, jump forward, jump forward. My eye. Okay, my head turns a little bit. So because my head turned a little bit, I'm going to move that. To go with my head turn. So I'm going to keep hitting the arrow. I'm going to hit it again one more time. Nothing. My head moves. Okay. So now I'm going to move it down a little bit. And then I'm going to do it again. Double click. My head moves. I'm going to do it again. Double click and my head moves. And then I'm going to hit the back arrow. It's on the top left of the screen. So I'm going to click that. Now, if I hit play, the emoji is going to follow a little bit. I was totally winging. See how it followed? Now I'd polish it up. I'd spend probably like 5 minutes to actually get it so that it's clean and crisp. But that's how you can get something so that it follows. Like say you're doing a listing presentation, a listing video, and you want like a floating house in the palm of your hand, and the house kind of, that's a really bad example, but anyways, this is what I used. So yeah. Now, on this shot right here, I wanted it to come up where it had the logos, but I wanted them to be transparent. So I'm going to delete that logo, and then I'm going to go back on the top left and go to my photos. Oh yeah, I actually put those on my Dropbox, so it'll be on imported. Dropbox, deleted files, and then here's my logo here. So I'm going to drag that down. And now, look, it takes up the whole thing. So I have to double click it. All right. And I'm going to use this size scaler to bring it down to a more appropriate size. And I'm going to put it to where I want it, which was like right about there. And I also dropped, I want to minimize this and then open up blending. And then I'm going to drop the transparency down just a little bit so that you can still kind of see the lines of the cabinet behind me. And then back up. So there you go. Okay, next on the list. Don't do that one. Okay, so here's a clip. This is a B-reel shot of, I was talking about growth. So I needed something like that. So I'm going to delete this hand. Okay, I'm like, okay, I need a B-reel shot of growth. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave here, open up Safari, and I'm going to go to story blocks, and I'm going to type in something like business growth. All right, it's doing a search. So then what I did is I just scrolled through here. I'm like, what of these clips actually work? And I found the one of the person writing the chart. So let's just say this one works. I'm going to click on it, and it shows all these numbers. So maybe you're doing a video talking about house values or something, and they're going up. So then you would click on that file. It's going to open up in full mode. And what you want to do is go underneath the video. It gives you a couple options. Do the bottom option. It's a way smaller file format, and you can actually use it on your iPad. I tried the larger ones, and they didn't work. So I just go with the lowest one, and it's still HD. And then you'll click on the download button. And then it's going to open up where, just like the audio file that we did, you hit the share button, and then you'll put it in Dropbox. Now that I added that clip to my Dropbox, I go back to LumaFusion, and then I go to import the door up here, go back to sources, and I'll go to Dropbox, and I'll go to delete files. And then here's all of the clips. So here's the hand that I found, the female hand drawing. So I'll import that. So it is importing, and now it's in my library. So what I can do is there's a couple things. So say it's telling me that this is an 8-second clip. What if you only wanted 4 seconds of it? Well, I can grab this slider and bring it down to the 4-second mark. Okay, and then drag it down. And it already clipped it for me at the size that I needed. Okay, so that's cool. Good, good, good. Moving forward, moving forward. What about the handwriting? Oh, here's a good one. Okay, so how did I do this? Watch, I want to hit play, and you're going to see the top layer, this layer right here, is a B-reel shot of me holding my iPad. Then I wanted it to look like I was inside the iPad. So let me hit play and show you. Drip campaigns to build that know you, like you, trust you factor over time. Okay, so how the heck did I do that? Well, I'm going to delete this. Actually, no, I'll keep that because we still need it. So I'm going to just put it here for the side for now. And I'm going to delete the shot of me on my counter. Okay, so let me go to my flower and find the video. Okay, so it's probably one of these ones. I'd say, I think this one. Now, this one is saying that it's 26 seconds. So I can slide it so that it fits the size that I need. So I'll just make it a little bit bigger than needed. And then I will, right there. I'm going to drag it down. Now my problem is that I want it to fit in this little empty space right here. Oh no, I can leave it on top because it's the top layer. Right. I'm sorry. Okay, so here's my iPad. I'm holding it, but it's a green screen. So what I did in this example was literally on my iPad, I opened up a green picture and I zoomed in so that the whole screen was green. Why did I do that? Well, let me put this clip down below and you can't see it, right? I'm going to double click on the iPad and then up in the top right, you see this little key? I'm going to click on that key and I'm going to choose the first one, which is green screen, and that basically is going to delete anything that's green. Now, they definitely overkill it, so I have to take these sliders and I'm going to keep sliding this one left and right until I see the green, and then I'm going to go back, back, back until I don't see the green. Okay, I don't see the green. Now, it looks pretty gross still, so I'm going to go to the slider underneath, and I'm going to slide that around left and right until it looks good. So probably right about there. And then the slider underneath, I'm going to do that left and right until it looks good. That is a terrible screenshot of me. Anyways, there. This is a rough version. I actually would spend a little more time. That looks pretty good. Okay, I'm going to hit the back button. And now, when I hit play, follow-up drip campaigns to build that know you, like you, trust you factor over time. And so, see that? How it actually just cut out the green that's on my screen, and because I have them layered, the iPad is on the top layer and then the picture of me is down below. I could stack it like that. Now, I went one step further, so I double-clicked, because in the video I showed you before, there is a zooming in. So I'm going to double-click this, and I'm going to click on the target on the left, bottom left. I want this to be at the very beginning of the clip, so I slide the blue bar all the way to the left. And then I'm going to hit the three circles with the plus button. Click that. Okay, now I'm going to slide it all the way. And I'm going to hit the plus button. And that added another keyframe. And I'm going to now use the slider scale, and I'm going to slide it so that it zooms in. So now if I hit the back button and we hit play, watch this, it's going to be zooming in. Drip campaigns to build that know you, like you, trust you factor over time. And see that, how it was zooming in? Pretty cool. What other clips can I show you an example of? Oh, there's one of, okay, so here's another example of I'm holding an iPhone, and on that iPhone was a green screen, so I recorded that, and then I used that keyframing, the chroma key thing. So if I go back to color and effect, and then I go to the key, you can see I'm using the green key screen, and these are the settings that I use for, these are the settings that I used for it. And look how clean that looks. It looks like I'm actually on the phone, but it was two completely different video clips. Now, in this section right here where the clip isn't working, that is the handwriting. So in the video where you heard me writing, I'm going to show you how I do that. So first of all, let's hear what are the words that I say. Things like congratulation messages or client feedback. Okay, so I'm just going to do those two. Congratulations, or I'll do client feedback. What's the next one? Simply touching base. All right, client feedback and touching base. So I'm going to leave, go to my home screen. Not all iPads are set up this way, so you have to go to settings, and then general. Oh, control center. So go to control center. When you go to the control center, it will load all of your apps eventually. So I'm going to click on customize controls, and then you'll see right here I have screen recording. Most of you don't have that turned on. It will be down below, and you have to like turn it on and bring it up here. Well, okay, let's say you have it off. Actually, I don't want to remove it in case that messes up. Anyways, if it's down here, you want to make sure that it's up top, okay? So mine is, I just wanted to show you how to get to that. So I'm going to swipe right from the top right of my screen, and it's going to pull up my control panel. So now I'm going to hit the record button. If I press and hold on the record button, Oh, shit. I can't record because I'm mirroring my iPad. Okay. Well, I'm going to fake this for you. Okay. Let's say I click on the record button. Then what I do is I head on over to something like Procreate. And then I have a blank document here. So I'll go into that. And I'm going to delete this. And it's recording everything. So right, if I actually was recording, it would have been recording me actually deleting what I just deleted. And then I want to write Dan with a smiley face. Then when I'm done recording, oops. Then when I'm done recording, I'll come back out to the top and then I'll hit the stop record button. And now I have that video clip. Now that I have that video clip, I can then go to LumaFusion and I can add the handwriting that goes with the voice of whatever I'm saying. So when I said client appreciation, it recorded the word client appreciation and it would have just showed up here. Now I don't have the clip. I deleted it yesterday like an idiot. So anyways, I'm sorry. Now, once you go through and you add all of your B-reel footage, so here's B-reel footage. Let's say you're happy with all of this. You want to start adding sound effects. So here's an example of, okay, I'm going to hit play and you're going to hear the sound effect of the images disappearing. They disappear anyways, so it's okay. Oh, LumaFusion has a glitch where it doesn't show you the preview. So I hit play, and right at this moment, you should have heard the whooshing noise of this disappearing. And for some reason, this is the only glitch that I found with LumaFusion. So anyways, at this moment, there is a sound effect of it disappearing. And then at this moment, there's a sound effect of the clock ticking. So I'm like, okay, for example, clock ticking. I need a clock ticking sound effect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to back out, head on to Safari. I'm going to go back to Epidemic Sound. I'm going to click on the search bar and I'm going to put in clock. And I'm going to hit search. So under sound effects right here, it says sound effects. I'm going to click on all matches. And then I would literally go down and hit play on each one until I found one that I liked. Then I would hit the download button if this is the one that I liked. Download it. It is going to open up on the screen again. Whoa, that scared me. I wouldn't actually use that because that didn't fit the clock, but let's say I did. I want to hit the square, save to Dropbox, and then in this case, we're going to put it in our sound effects and hit save. Now that it's in my sound effect folder, I want to then go back to LumaFusion, and then I am going to go to my door to import the files. I want to click on Dropbox so that I can go to my sound effect folder, and then I want to find the clock ticking, which is right here, clock, and then I want to hit the import button. It is importing that clock sound effect, and it is now in my folder here. So if I find, here's the clock ticking right here, it is telling me that it's a 9-second clip, and I don't need it to be 9 seconds. Oh, yeah, they have a minute-long clip. That is ridiculous. So I'm going to bring it down to 9 seconds. Okay. And then I'm going to drag it to where the clip is. And then the clock is on the screen there, and then it disappears here. So clearly I don't need the clock noise anymore. So I'm going to click on that and cut it. All of the sound effects, you probably want to lower them a little bit. So I'm going to double click it and lower it. Actually, let's go back and hit play. 15-second clips, so they don't take that long for you to make. I need that louder, actually. Clips, so they don't take that long for you to make. I challenge you. That sounded pretty good. You actually probably could go a little bit higher. Let's just see the difference. They're short 15-second clips, so they don't take that long for you to make. So there. See how if I had just had the clock with no sound effect, just by adding that quick little sound effect noise, it just adds like a real punch to it. That is how you add your polish to all of your videos. So that's the building block that I do. Once you're ready to export this, what you want to do is hit up in the top right is a little door with an out arrow. You're going to click on that. You're going to click on movie because you're going to save a movie. Put it wherever you want to put it. For me, I want to put it on my camera roll. Obviously, have the best settings that you can. Oh. Sorry, I had a phone call coming in. So change your settings so that it's like whatever you want. I always put it at the highest possible. Now, for example, so you're like, oh, I want it to be 4K. If your camera didn't record at 4K, it's not going to work. So just put it at the highest that your camera recorded at. So most of you are going to be good with this, 1080, 1080p. And then the video quality, I heard online that it doesn't matter, but I don't believe the internet, so I just put it at the highest possible. Then when you're done with that, you'll hit the button up at the top right. It's the little door. Let's hit it. So there you go. That is exporting that to my camera roll right now. Then, after it is done exporting this, what you're going to want to do is, I want to cancel that actually. Don't want that. After you've exported your movie and you're happy with it, you're going to start publishing it and putting it on Facebook and YouTube and everywhere else. Then what you want to do is click the square and you want to do a project archive. And you're going to want to archive this project because this is a perfect example. In that shot where I had the handwriting here, so this is where I had the handwriting. See these like purple bars? It's because they're not on my camera roll anymore. I deleted them and they're not in the trash folder either. So that means I have to create them from scratch. Had I just followed my own advice and clicked this button and then archived the project, it would have kept all the files for me in a nice little package. So you want to archive everything. And then once I'm done with that, I go on over to photos and I will select all of the shots that I no longer need to clear up space on my device. And I will hit the delete button. So let me cancel that and I'll delete, whatever, I'll delete this one. So I'm going to delete the video. Now, just because I hit the delete button doesn't mean they're actually deleted off of your device. I'm going to go back to my camera roll, back to albums, and I want to scroll down to the very bottom and it says recently deleted. And you would be surprised and probably shocked at the photos that you have. You're like, oh my God, I thought that was deleted. So don't do this experiment when you got family in the room. And then you're going to select all, and then you're going to delete all. Delete all 4 items, and now they are completely off of your device. So that is it. That is my beginning to end of how I kind of fail my way forward through LumaFusion or any video editing. There's a lot more technical tricks that you can do, but I hope by me sharing with you a live project and just kind of walking through and explaining it, you're like, all right, I can see how it gets all layered together, and keep it simple. So let me address some questions. Is using story blocks free? No, you have to pay, and I paid for a yearly membership. I don't know what I paid, probably a couple $100. This editing program is easier to use than the one I have on my Mac. It is easier to use. I absolutely hate editing on, so I just published my 500th video on YouTube, and if you look, none of them have any video editing, and if they do, it's because somebody else did it, because to me, it's like, I hate it. I do not like editing. However, doing it on my iPad is like a little game. I had a lot of fun doing it. So now I'm going to start a vlog, and I'm actually going to be editing using, everything I do is going to be done from my iPad. This needs a lot of practice. Oh, you are so right. And you have to embrace it. So you have to embrace what it takes to do anything. Even if you want to start running, you're like, man, running sucks, and my legs hurt, my back hurts, and I'm sweaty. Well, just embrace that. And over time, as long as you learn to embrace it, then it gets a lot easier for sure. Danny, can you please help out which app to use for Android? If there's anybody on this call right now using an Android app, go ahead and shout it out. Filmora might be a good option for you. Actually, let me go to my video editing. There is Quick. Whoops. Quick and Splice are both by GoPro, and they're free, and you don't have to own a GoPro. And so check out those two but the problem with them is that you can't do the layering of having 3 different video tracks and like 2 different soundtracks and the green screen removal and all that other stuff. Most video apps are very limited of just like you can adjust the speed and volume and you can add a transition. Oh, shoot, before we go, transitions. So, okay, let me go to, here, I'll just add any old video. So let me go photos, and I want to add, here's a video of my phone. Okay, so here's a video of my phone, and I'm like, oh, that's a pretty rough cut. I want it to be a little smoother than that. What I want to do is click on the flower on the top left. I want to click on transitions, and it brings up all these different transitions. So the most common one would be the cross dissolve. So I'm going to grab that, drag it down, and put it at the front of the clip. And now if I back up and hit play, content, no editing required. It did a crossfade. So most apps that you use have the crossfade, and yeah. How much time do you usually spend doing a video? Good question, Addie. So it took me 7 minutes to do the first script, 2 minutes to do the second one. Probably took me another hour to do all the B-reel shots and get it together. And then to actually do the video editing took me a couple hours, but that's only because I was working remote with like honestly, it took me like 80% of my time was wasted because of my internet speed. So it's not a fair comparison. More questions. A folder is stuck on your screen. No. Oh, that's just because I was looking at it. I'm not even looking at the screen. Oh, you guys didn't get to see the crossfade? Okay, hold on. I'll do that from the beginning. So I'm going to delete that. I want to go to my photos, and I'll add a video, any video, drop her down. Okay, so now when I hit play, it's the content. Nope. It was pretty sharp between the two, so I'm like, no, you know what? I need a crossfade. So I'm going to click on the flower on the top left. I'm going to click on transitions, grab the transition, drag it, and let go. And now if I back up and hit play, it's the content. No editing required. It was just smoother blend. There we go. Please, which app to use on Android? Yeah, I don't have the answer for you. I showed you, if you really want to get started with some apps, use the Quick app or Splice app. They're both free, and they're both decent for the price. However, I only use LumaFusion, so I'm not sure what the best app is for the Android. I don't have that answer. Sorry, man. Cool. Well, a bunch of you stuck it out for the long haul. Thank you for hanging out. I really do hope that you guys start failing forward. Now what I'm going to do on a future call is I'm going to show you how I do like the in-camera transition so that you don't even have to edit. You can just go from one shot to the other, and you don't need to use crossfades or anything. And I want to put together a little game plan, like a challenge of like, okay, I challenge you to make about you video, and I challenge you to make a featured listing video, and it's going to be quick little challenges. So I'm excited to get that rolling out for you guys, and thanks for hanging out. Okay, I'm going to stop this call. If you guys type out questions while I'm still hanging up, then just text me or email me, and I always get back. Thanks, everyone. Hey, if you want to close more real estate transactions, get more buyer leads, and get more seller leads, click this button right here. It'll take you to our real estate group coaching page. Also, if you like this video and want more, you can subscribe by pressing this, or you can check out some of my past videos here. Enjoy!